I'm going to blow this little one out because I can't. Well, yeah, which means I should blow this one out. At least, yeah, I didn't like this one.
Oh, they actually work. Okay. Lots of times you have to charge them up.
You remember Dave Hamburger? He tried lighting those with a flame.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing's gonna go out too.
Live weather at last night.
No, I didn't hear any. I woke up to this and I'm like, this is not.
No, it was not.
Okay, people, it's time. We're missing a minister. Oh, here she comes. I know the roads are terrible today, and that's why people are either going to be late or prefer to watch online at home. So I understand. I live close, but I still drove slow, and so did everybody else. So. John Straw, are you coming in or are you going to stay out there? Thank you. Okay. Good morning. Good morning to those of you here in our sanctuary and those of you who are viewing us online, which is probably a lot of people today. My name is Chris Monk, and I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Flint. We're a progressive LGBTQ+ affirming religious community. If you would like more information about our faith tradition or this congregation, please feel free to talk with one of our ministers today or via their contact information found at uuflint.org. Visitors are especially invited to attend coffee hour downstairs after the service, and any of us would be willing to tell you about our congregation. You may also sign up for our weekly email newsletter, which this card is in the seat backs. You put your name, your email address, and your address, and set it on the table as you leave. And you can get our e-update. It comes out every week, and it gives us a lot of information about what is going on here. Please see the back of your order of service and email update for detailed announcements, but just one, well, actually two for right now. Today at noon, here in the sanctuary, the ministers are offering, you want this? No. Okay. Are offering a workshop for anyone interested in learning about planning worship services for the congregation when the ministers are away. Current worship associates, those interested in being a worship associate, and anyone interested in finding topics and speakers are encouraged to attend. Another announcement is that Deb Simmons has done it again. She's back in the hospital. I don't know that she broke anything, but she's back in the hospital, and there'll be a card downstairs for you to sign after the service. And I'm sure she'll be glad to hear from all of us. All right, that is my cue. We are thankful for all the pledges we have received so far for our Moving Right Along annual pledge campaign. But to avoid a call, and you do not want me to have to call you, you can just sit down. You may be just sitting down for dinner or to relax or watch the news only to stress you out. You want to turn it in. And it would be great if you turned it in by next week. Got that? Terry has even turned hers in. That is amazing. So if Terry can do that, the rest of you can do it too. If you are not on our mailing list and you'd like to make a pledge, there are blank pledge forms on that table back there. If you have misplaced your original form that was sent to you, no worries. Reverend Lynn or Ruth Straw, they will be able to get you what you need. And please take a Moving Right Along keychain. There's still more back there as you leave today if you have not done so already. Thanks again to all of you We really need this in order to keep our church going. He's right on target. Chalice lighting. We light this chalice. May its glow fill our spirits, our hearts, as we worship together.
Or maybe we're not. We're getting there.
There's no wick left?
No.
Okay, all right.
We can improvise.
Yes. Were you used? We can do that.
There we go.
All right. Please join me in reciting our covenant, recognizing the richness of diversity, the beauty and wonder of shared worship, and the transforming power of love and service. We gather as a sacred, intentional community to freely seek knowledge and truth, to celebrate the fullness of life, and by our actions to increase goodness and justice.
Practicality doesn't interest me. I love the life that I lead. I've got a pocket full of miracles, and with a pocket full of miracles, one miracle a day is all I need. T-rubbles more or less bother me, I guess, when the sun doesn't shine. But there's that pocket full of miracles, and with a pocket full of miracles, the world's a bright and shiny apple that's mine, all mine. I hear sleigh bells ringing smack in the middle of May. I go around as if there's snow on the ground. I feel so good, it's Christmas every day. Life's a carousel, far as I can tell, and I'm riding for free. I've got a pocket full of miracles, and with a pocket full of miracles, there'll be miracles enough for you and me. I hear sleigh bells ringing smack in the middle of May. I go around, I think there's snow on the ground. It feels so good, it's Christmas every day. Life's a carousel, far as I can tell, and I'm riding for free. I've got a pocket full of miracles, but if I had to pick one miracle, my favorite miracle of all is you and me.
Just a brief announcement. I didn't mention last week, some of you noticed that Lynn wasn't here, but she has, it's not Easter yet, but she is resurrected, having a bad reaction to a new medication. But she's back.
Good thing you could walk.
Really. We come together this morning as celebrants, as seekers and companions. The cold weather persists, but we now joyfully allow ourselves the warmth of this time together. Time together in which we may rest our cares and sorrows and allow our hearts and spirits to be uplifted. Drink in this community, and if only for this brief sacred time, treat it as your own. Make yourself at home. Stand if you're willing and able for number 38.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning. Praise from them springing, fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
After our words for meditation today and our time of silence, remember you're welcome to come forward if you like and light a candle of joy or concern. And you can also do that at the back if you prefer. And also, please feel free to write your joy or concern in one of the books at the back, and we'll make sure it gets into the weekly e-newsletter. Do not be alone right now. Gather together. Gathering together grows courage in ourselves and in others who see the numbers swelling. It's a small thing, but right now, it's an important thing. Great sources of wisdom remind us, just because you can't stem the tide of all hate, it's still the right thing to do. You do the thing you can do. These things add up. Your one thing and my one thing, together it becomes a big thing. Do not be alone right now. Any liberation, all liberation is collective liberation. Let us together cast our lots doing this big thing, bending the moral arc of the universe towards justice. Let's enjoy our time of silence.
worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Our reading this morning is from a lifelong UU, a minister, and also a Grammy-nominated folk singer who spent most of his life in New England. He writes, I used to live in a little village in New Hampshire called Tamworth. It was home to one summer theater, one inn, and 2 stores, the village store and the other store. The other store, we used to say, is the kind of place where you can go in and get a plate of scrambled eggs and a bucket of paint. What Tamworth didn't have, and what I needed, was a mechanic. When you live alone in a rural area, a good mechanic is essential. And it's helpful to have one nearby, because if you have to wait very long while your car is being fixed, there's nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. One day when I was sitting at the other store with Susan, Bill, and Edith, bemoaning my need for a nearby mechanic, somebody asked if I had heard of Hidden Automotive. Hidden Automotive? Oh, that's the place to go around here, said Bill. I took my car there last week, said Edith. And so as soon as I got home, I looked up Hidden Automotive in the phone book. I found nothing. Nothing even close. In fact, there were no mechanics at all in Tamworth Village. Oh, they're unlisted, they told me when I asked at the other store the next day. A week later, I finally made my way to the tiny garage, set back into the woods 1.5 miles up the aptly named Great Hill Road. I missed it the first time and had to drive back. Hidden Automotive. Then the mechanic walked out and he introduced himself. Hi, I'm Sam Hidden. Sam didn't talk much, but he was by far the best mechanic I had ever had. He didn't need any more customers than word of mouth would yield, so he was content to remain in practice as well as name hidden. As for the needy car owners, well, you can always find a mechanic. But I did have to go through grief therapy when I moved. I liked Sam Hidden for all his taciturn efficiency. I also like the Unitarian Universalist churches and fellowships that I see again and again that are so warm and welcoming, spiritually uplifting and intellectually challenging, if you can ever find them. I like visiting them, feeling the closeness of the community, even the question that's asked again and again, how did you find us? There's almost a sense of surprise when people ask that, as if it's a wonder that anybody could manage to find us at all. Sometimes I feel like saying, once I negotiated the labyrinth, it was simply a matter of fighting off the Yeti and I was in. The truth is that Unitarian Universalists, as a rule, are among the most welcoming people you'll ever meet. But we do tend toward a certain kind of complacency with being hidden.
Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. For love may come and tap you on the shoulder some starless night. And just in case you feel you want to hold them, you'll have a pocket full of starlight. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. For love may come and tap you on the shoulder some starless night. And just in case you feel you want to hold them, you'll have a pocket full of starlight, pocket full of starlight. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. Save it for a rainy day. Save it for a rainy day.
Brand new ministers often like advice from those of us that have been around for a while. My advice, plenty of pockets. Now, I don't think perhaps any of you have seen me in a clergy robe, but many clergy robe for Sunday services and other ceremonies in New England, where we were some years ago. So early in my career, my mother was commissioned to sew me a clergy robe. And I told her pockets were a must. They must be deep and they must be large. Picture a minister in a long black robe officiating at an outside wedding in the dog days of August. It's over 90 degrees, and you notice sweat is rolling down the face of the groom, and the bride is also in tears. No problem. I have a pocket full of tissues. Or the couple hands you their vows, or their marriage certificate, or even sometimes their rings because they have no one in the wedding party that they trust. For me, a wedding officiant must have pockets. So it didn't take me long in my career to appreciate how handy pockets were for lots of occasions in ministry. I very quickly learned what essentials I should carry in them. A book of matches, a few business cards, Altoids, a pen with black ink for official documents, and chapstick. Now, I think that we take pockets for granted. But so-called civilized society did not always have the luxury of pockets. Until the 1500s, men carried their treasure in little pouches around their necks or on their waists. Now, when displaying your wealth on outer garments proved too much of a temptation for thieves, it precipitated people to cut a slit in their clothing somewhere so that they could put the pouch closer to their body. It was Henry VIII who has the first record of actually having sewn pockets in his clothing. It's probably where he put his turkey legs. But it wasn't until the 1700s that pockets were standard in men's fashion. Women, of course, still had to carry pouches or purses of some sort on the outside of their clothing because they had to maintain their very slim silhouette. Now, in modern times, anything goes. In fact, some designers give their clothes pockets that aren't even functional. They'll add fake pockets. They'll use minute ones that can't hold a darn thing. And of course, they will include pockets that will be big enough for your kitty cats. Practically speaking, pockets, though, have been a fantastic invention. They provide a convenient, safe, and hands-free way to carry valuables. Pockets are also useful for finding bonus cash you didn't know you had, or even finding receipts telling you where your partner has been. Not that, it is the advantage of doing wash. Of course, they're also bad in the sense that we do lose things in them. And they are a nuisance when you wash your clothes and forget all about those tissues that you had at the wedding that you did. Of late, you could say pockets even have a life of their own. There is a trend towards pocket pets. Have you heard of those? They're not the electronic gizmos, which I think people still have those, but a while back, those were very popular, and they always need your attention, like they beep or something. We've got people in our lives for that. But, so they're tiny animals, such as mice, hamsters, hedgehogs, and even flying squirrels that are small enough that you can take them with you wherever you go. And the internet, and I imagine TikTok, you tell me, TikTok is full of these cute little guys, but some folks even sport a few unusual things like tarantulas, lizards, and even frogs. Now, I can think of a lot of reasons why that does not sound like a good, oh, how did you get in there? I thought I left him at home, I'm sorry. You just stay right there. Okay, right there. Okay, good. Now I've got slime in my pocket. Shoot. Well, as you know, it never seems like you have enough pockets. Like, I had to add them. Yeah. I had to add them to this skirt, all by hand. Pockets, that is. Remember 5 pockets? This is a sermon about 5 pockets. So whether your pocket is zippered, snapped, velcroed, flapped, or side-seamed, when it comes to pockets, they often hold things we value. And that's why many people prefer hidden pockets. These kinds of pockets are actually sewn into the side seam, or they're angled in a way that you can't see them, or they're tiny little pockets within larger pockets. Such hidden pockets are where all the best goodies are kept. But as the author from our reading this morning believes, holding our valuables is not always best when we are hiding them from people when they're looking for a church. There was an old joke that circulated, I would say a few decades ago, about this very thing. A UU traveler gets lost in a small town, but he sees a person wearing a Question Authority t-shirt. So he decides that's the person to talk to. Excuse me, the traveler says, could you tell me where I can find the local UU church? The person smiles and says, first, you go down to the intersection of doubt and certainty. Turn left at that social justice rally, but if you hit status quo, you've gone too far. Look for the building that looks like a library but smells like coffee and recycled paper. Now, you're not going to see a sign, but there'll be a rainbow flag. And if you're still confused, follow your own inner light. And if all else fails, well, it's right behind the co-op. Now, I used to think that was pretty funny until one night when Jerry and I were the travelers. We had just begun dating, and we set off to attend a lecture by Houston Smith. Now, Smith was a renowned scholar of comparative religion and was the author of one of the books that's kind of a Bible for UU ministers, The World's Religions. He also happened to be a visiting professor of religious studies at UC Berkeley at the time that we were in Berkeley, and he was speaking at the UU church there. So we were especially excited to hear Smith, but we also hadn't been to that particular church before. So as is Jerry's habit, we left very early to make sure that we would arrive on time. And someone had given us verbal directions, and they sounded simple enough. Plus, if you've not been there, Berkeley is surrounded by a bay on one side and very steep hills on the other, so how hard could it be? Of course, this was years before people always carried cell phones or had affordable handheld GPS units. Now, we knew that the church was on a hill, but there's a lot of hills. And we also knew that it was in a residential area, but we figured as soon as we got fairly close, certainly there's going to be a sign. No sign. We kept circling around, and we kept going around in one-way streets, and we went up the hills and down the hills, and up the hills and down. I'm starting to get sick just thinking about that. And we found numerous roads that either ended at giant redwoods or the foothills or at the bay. You may have guessed that we never heard the lecture. Sorry about that. However, Jerry did learn that his girlfriend had a propensity for car sickness. I got so sick that we had to just go home. But later, as I was thinking about it, I realized that we had not seen one sign, not one sign, pointing to one of the biggest UU congregations in the Bay Area. Oh, we've been close, really close, but never close enough to see the tiny little wooden sign that was right at the end of the parking lot. Now, it's been over 30 years, so I imagine that they've probably improved on that a little bit. Or perhaps there's people still driving, and they never returned. Oh, no, they never returned, and their fate is still unlearned. They may ride forever in the hills of Berkeley. They're the folks who never return. Sorry, pockets. So a while back, like a hidden pocket, some UU fellowships, societies, congregations, and churches were very welcoming if you managed to find them. Back then, the first time you visited a UU church, as we heard this morning, people would ask, "How did you find us?" And they literally meant, "How on earth did you ever find us?" Some of the churches felt a little like they were exclusive clubs, and you kind of needed like a secret code to get in. And I mean, okay, I'm exaggerating, but several times when I would go to be pulpit supply at different churches, which a lot of us did when we were in seminary, I would find myself desperately searching for the church I was about to speak at in a half an hour. And so many times they were little tiny wooden signs and often obscured by tree branches or weeds. This one's getting ready to get there. Now, these days, I do think that UUs want to be found. And many want to be found so bad that they've got huge signs, and some have even graduated, like we have, to electronic ones that are on a place where even cars that are zooming by on busy streets can read them. And I think it's because we feel that our beliefs and our values need protecting, even though we know we're not always right. And we want people to find us. So, good for you. You found us. But we weren't really hiding. We've just been quietly building momentum for all the challenges ahead of us. I think maybe those challenges may be what initially brought some of you here, whether it was a month ago or 20 years ago. I don't pretend to know exactly what we should do about all of our challenges, but I've been hearing a common refrain: build dissent. So today, I'm going to take a stab at helping you perhaps come up with ideas about how you can personally do that. Now, as I said, UUs have long had the inclination to hide their light and their buildings under a bushel. But as far back as the late 1770s, our country's first Universalist minister, John Murray, suggested a better way. Murray realized that hiding our religion away like a coin in the newly invented accessory, the pocket, would not spread his message. When he founded the first Universalist church in America, he told people of his new faith, quote, "Go out into the highways and byways. Give the people something of your new vision. You may possess a small light, but uncover it and let it shine. Use it to bring more light and understanding to hearts and minds. Give them not hell, but hope, kindness, and everlasting love." I can't say it better than that. But here's the rub. We still haven't completely heeded his advice. We really aren't that great at uncovering our light, or our chalice, as the case may be. The hardest part, I think, sometimes of being a UU is articulating our faith. When someone asks us, what's it all about? I dare say I have very few things, this may be the only one, in common with the late Jerry Falwell, the televangelist, but he said there are 5 reasons that people support religious institutions, why they believe in their faith. And I think they might help us talk about UUism. And it's coming. Here it is. He said they were 5 motivating pockets. You were waiting for that, weren't you? Yes. And I love the idea of 5 pockets because it presents us with an organizing tool for our heads about how we can discern our commitment to the values of our tradition, as well as our willingness and our ability to articulate it to other people who don't know about us. And of course, the desired outcome would be that more and more people are motivated to put time and energy and money into our faith. And of course, fighting for the good through dissent is a natural byproduct. So here are his 5 pockets. The first one contains the budget or operating fund. You kind of think of this as keeping the lights on. The second pocket is reserved for infrastructure. So larger building projects like fixing an elevator or the roof. Learning or education is the third pocket, and it covers not only our desire to be educated, but our desire to also educate. The fourth pocket, perhaps a the name you may not love, but it's evangelism. But it's not just a Christian word. It simply means believing in the message and wanting to share it with others. And the last pocket, and probably I would guess the most popular for us, would be supporting social justice. Now, I'm going to translate all of that into you speak and see how they relate to our congregation's motto of love, justice, and reason in faith. And you may have guessed, I have some show and tell. Now, I'm sure that you've heard the commercial with the tagline, "What's in your wallet?" I don't even know who it's for. Does anybody know? Okay, Kat, see? Okay, you guys have been listening. So as I reveal what's in my pockets, perhaps you can be thinking about things that might represent what you support in this congregation. So, what's in my pockets? It's a game. I should have a buzzer. I wish I had a buzzer. Oh. Next time. Okay, so we're going to start with reason. And I think we have we're going to have a slide here. So in reason, I have an owl, which represents wisdom and reason. I see him. So without a doubt, reason is the very basis of our theology. People like Henry David Thoreau felt that original thinking was the divinest thing about humans. And because our reasoning will no doubt bring us all to different conclusions, we stay together because we covenant to support one another as we go on that journey. So that's one of the ideas we can share with other people. But we are also pragmatic about the needs of the physical space, because it's great if we're all using our brains, but where do we gather? We have to have a place to be. And so physical space, maintaining the physical space, and filling it with staff all makes sense, right? So we have to also support that. But I realize that most people are not dreaming about the day that they're going to have a plaque with their name on it on the boiler. Oh, okay, did everybody hear that? Ray is an exception. It's true, you've spent a lot of very intimate hours with that boiler. So, okay, I get that. I know that infrastructure and operating fund are not very, what fundraisers call sexy items to support, but without them, today doesn't happen, right? So, okay, now, our next slide, both learning and evangelism fall under love and compassion. And my next pocket contains a peace sign. So UUs are encouraged to create peace within themselves so that then they may spread peace and compassion and love to others. I'm referring to what Buddhists refer to as the mind-body kind of peace. But we must also remember that we are always learning how to do that. Life is a constant learning opportunity. The Dalai Lama illustrates it in a story about a man who's working under his car. Even though we're adults, we still need to learn. So there was a guy, he's working on his car, he's having trouble, and he gets up too quickly and he hits his head on the underside of the car. And he's so mad at himself for doing something so stupid, you know what he does? He bangs his head again on the car because he's so mad and he keeps doing it. And the Dalai Lama says, car not suffer, he suffer, but car not suffer. We really, I can remember so vividly. I don't know how old I was. I hope I was not very old when this happened because I was so gullible, but I stubbed my toe on a piece of furniture. My dad saw me do it. I'm tearing up. It really hurt. You know how that, ugh. And you know what my dad told me to do? Kick that piece of furniture and and give it heck and tell it who's boss. So what did I do? I kicked the furniture with the other foot, and he goes, that toe doesn't hurt anymore, does it? Furniture not suffer, Lynn suffer. Yes. Well, another item under love and compassion is, oh dear, looking kind of rough, but that's okay. So, wait, there, sorry about that. Yeah, okay, here we go. So now I know that this is specifically an LGBTQ plus symbol, but I am using it today as a principle of affirming the inherent worth and dignity of everyone and every living thing, and anyone who is marginalized or discriminated against. And as we sang in the hymn this morning, come, come, whoever you are. To me, you-ism will always say to me, you are welcome here. Here in this place and here in this place. So ultimately, this belief and our ability to evangelize brings people in. It just takes UUs to enthusiastically share the principles that we feel so strongly about. And I know you feel strongly about it because you came out in the snow today to be here. And I know that there's people at home who are watching instead of sleeping or drinking their coffee and reading the paper today. So finally, we come to justice. So my fourth pocket, this one's a little more difficult to get. Okay, contains this shell. And I found this one. This is a little rough for the wearer, but a very beautiful shell. And it reminds me of one of our greatest strengths, and that is our belief that we are part of the interdependent web of all existence. I chose a shell because 80% of all life depends on healthy oceans and coasts. And Albert Schweitzer wrote, just as the wave cannot exist for itself, but is ever part of the heaving surface of the ocean, so must I never live my life for itself, but always in the experience which is going on around me. So we're at the fifth pocket. Which one? I had to remember, yeah. So in my last pocket, I wanted a $20 bill, and would you believe that this is all Jerry and I had? But cold, hard cash. So UUs are some of the most generous people you will ever meet. And especially when it comes to social justice. UU philanthropy has always been at the top of our list, and it has always spread far and wide beyond just the congregation, beyond our communities, and into the world. Early American Unitarians and Universalists were some of the first people to organize campaigns against slavery and for rights for women and for children. So, in order for us to build our momentum, we need support. UUs need to support all of these areas, all 5 pockets. But of course, as you know, we're in the middle of our pledge campaign, so I have to talk about money. So I'm going to ask you to please think about what you'd miss. What would you miss if UUCF was gone? Because I am betting that Unitarian Universalism has made a difference in your life. My pockets are empty, but I am sure that yours are full. What symbolizes Unitarian Universalism in your pockets. Ask yourself, what is in my pocket that I can share with others? And I hope that it's not just a pledge, but it's also something you can share with others for the future of Unitarian Universalism. Thanks. Let's join in singing. It's Come Sing a Song With Me. It's number 346, and we're just going to sing verses 1 and 4. Please stand as you're willing and able.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
I know that this church, this place, has had a big influence on me and makes a big difference in my life. I would miss it so much if it was not here, and I would miss all of you. Time for generosity. If you come here sometimes feeling weary and burdened, you are welcome here. But if you leave here feeling refreshed and renewed, we ask two things of you. Invite others to join you and help us support this place of love, justice, and reason. This refuge exists because all of us make it so with our contributions of time, talent, and treasure. Please join me in giving so that we may continue to have this place that fortifies and challenges us. Please place your offering in the basket as you leave, or make an online gift at uuflint.org. Thank you.
Let us remember always to give thanks for the great gift of community, for the circumstances that have brought us together and have bound us into the sacred bundle of life. Let us give thanks for our own gifts, knowledge that comforts, words that encourage, insight that blesses. Let us extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want. such a thrill. But your loving don't pay my bills. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want. Money don't get everything, it's true. But what it don't get, I can't use. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want. Now give me money. Whole lot of money. I wanna be free. Oh, money, money. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want.